Steve Larkin is from the Institute of Civil Engineers in the North East, joins us now. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Are you as surprised as we are?
What, that you find somebody who's prepared
yes.
to go via Carlisle?
Yeah.
I have to say yes. I suppose if you want to go to Glasgow, maybe not, but if you want to go to Edinburgh, yes.
I must admit, in my experience driving up, I would always take the A1. What's your experience?
Well, I've done a lot of work in Berwick over the last couple of years, so that would be the obvious route for me. Mm-hmm. And surely the main road linking Newcastle and Edinburgh deserves to be of a higher standard than single carriageway. It can be very slow, especially if you get stuck behind a tractor or an articulated lorry or something around the twisty bits. Mm. And because of the nature of the road, it encourages people to take risks in terms of overtaking. So safety is obviously an issue.
Are you surprised that the Lords have all but ditched this idea till 2016?
Well, not really, because it's very difficult to build an economic case for dualling through conventional sort of methods. But if the government is serious about rebalancing the economy, then we need to use that terrible phrase, think outside the box. And certainly it's been proven that large infrastructure investment is the best way of stimulating economic growth. So it would be, a great sort of boost, a great shot in the arm for the North East, if you like, that the road between Newcastle and Edinburgh could be improved, opening up huge areas between the two cities to economic development. So
just the work they've done south, on the A1 between Wetherby and Leeming Bar, that seems to have taken an absolute age. Imagine if they were to do that between Newcastle and Scotland. It would be worse. It would be insufferable, wouldn't it?
Well, actually, that project is due to be completed ahead of schedule, and I think within budget. So it may seem like that, but in civil engineering terms, that's been a quite successful project. I mean, it's disappointing that the second stage of that improvement has been a victim of government cuts, because the North East is the only part of the UK that isn't actually connected to the rest of it by motorway standard road. And I think if we were, it would send a very important message to the rest of the country and beyond that the North East is open for business.
Do you think part of this is people just need to keep moving? Going south, I'll often go down the A19, even if it means driving a little bit further, just so I've got that feeling of moving. Is that why, do you think people are saying, I'll go across to Carlisle and up that way?
Yeah, I think there's probably something in that. But what we need to see is, instead of the government throwing more and more money at the same old congested bits of road, we need to develop the transport network as a whole. And possibly you could argue that by improving the standard of the A1 through the North East, you might relieve congestion on other parts of the road network.
Really?
Possibly, yeah. It's proven that if you build a new road, it does attract traffic, because one of the arguments against dualling the A1 is that the traffic flows don't warrant it. But that's partly because people are put off by the standard of the road and the journey times that it takes. Okay. Whereas, obviously, if the road was better, it would probably attract more traffic.
A lot of interesting points there. Steve Larkin from the Institute of Civil Engineers in the North East. Thanks for joining us, Steve.